My boss told me I'd never amount to anything without a degree. I was serving coffee at his firm's executive breakfast when he said it, loud enough for the entire conference room to hear. Some people are meant to serve, not lead. His colleagues laughed, that polite corporate chuckle that makes you feel 2 inches tall. I just refilled his cup, nodded, and kept working. Didn't argue, didn't defend myself, just smiled and moved to the next table. What he didn't know was that I'd been coding in that same coffee shop during my breaks for 3 years. Every slow afternoon, every quiet morning before the rush, I'd pull out my laptop and work on something I actually cared about. An app that automated the exact workflow his company charged clients $50,000 per project to handle manually. Document processing, client intake, compliance checks, billing integration, the whole pipeline. I'd watch them pitch it to clients dozens of times while I cleared their plates. I'd already beta tested it with 12 small businesses, local accountants, solo law practices, consulting firms that couldn't afford the big corporate solutions. They were paying me $200 monthly each. Not much, but it was proof the concept worked. My laptop stayed hidden under the counter, tucked next to the espresso machine. Nobody ever asked what I was working on. Nobody ever cared. At night, I'd work until 3 a.m., improving features, fixing bugs, adding clients. I'd test new automation sequences, troubleshoot integration issues, and respond to user feedback. My apartment was basically a tech startup disguised as a studio with a mattress on the floor. By day, I'd smile and serve lattes to people who never looked twice at me. I learned their orders by heart. Extra foam, oat milk, 2 Splendas. They knew my face but never my name. The comments kept coming. One executive asked if I'd ever considered real work. Another joked that at least I'd always have job security and service. My boss loved to use me as an example in his motivational speeches to interns. Not everyone can make it to the top. That's why we need people at every level. He'd gesture toward me while I wiped down tables. The interns would nod seriously, probably thinking, thank God that's not me. 6 months after his breakfast comment, I had 200 clients. Monthly revenue hit $40,000. I hired 2 developers, both remote, both people I'd met in coding forums who believed in what I was building. We split equity. I brought on a part-time customer support person, upgraded my servers, built out a real dashboard. The app was running smoothly, scaling naturally, and word of mouth was bringing in new clients every week. I hired 2 developers and quit the coffee shop with a simple text. Found my purpose, good luck, didn't give 2 weeks, didn't explain, just clocked out mid-shift, hung up my apron, and walked out the front door. My boss called twice. I declined both times. One of the other baristas texted me asking if I was okay. I told her I was better than okay. For months, I heard nothing from anyone at that firm. I focused on growth. We hit 500 clients, then 800. Revenue climbed past 6 figures monthly. I moved into an actual office space. Nothing fancy, just a small suite where my team could collaborate in person a few days a week. We landed 3 enterprise clients, mid-sized companies that needed custom implementations. I stopped thinking about the coffee shop entirely. Last week, his firm reached out. They wanted to license my software. The proposal came through their acquisitions team, a formal letter with all the corporate language about synergies and strategic partnerships. They'd clearly been watching my growth. Somehow they'd connected the dots. The proposal was detailed, professional, almost flattering. They outlined integration plans, market positioning, revenue projections. I recognized the signature at the bottom. Same guy, same name in that clean executive font, same condescending tone, different context. He wrote about how impressed they were with my bootstrap success and how they'd love to bring my innovation into their ecosystem. No mention of the coffee shop. No acknowledgement that he'd ever met me before, just business. I scrolled back through my old work emails, the ones I'd kept in an archive folder, and found the thread from 3 years ago. I'd sent a suggestion to their product team about automation opportunities. He'd responded with one line, stick to coffee. I'd saved it, not because I was bitter, but because it reminded me why I started building in the first place. I opened his licensing proposal, saw his name in bold at the bottom, and replied, some people are meant to serve. Your company can start by serving me a better offer. Minimum $2 million for licensing rights. He called me 17 times that day.